So he's got George Mitchell there as a special envoy. You got Tony Blair running around there as an envoy for the EU. You've got enough people going over there to try and move this thing along. Obama is not going to do the Camp David of Jimmy Carter and run over there for 13 days. Or 13 days at Camp David. He's not ready for it. The polls don't show that you could make a deal, so it would be impossible for him to do it. I think he has to do something to try and bring the parties together from his foreign policy. His Secretary of State also could be doing that. Condoleezza Rice was running around the Middle East like she was looking for Jewish bagels, you know. She was all over the place. So I'm not against it. I'm expressing the feelings of the Israelis, even the left-wing Israelis, you know. And Israel is really divided between the right and the center and the left, and it's really a 50-50 country now. And I'm not saying, well, obviously they love Bush because Bush, short-term, gave him everything that was good. People say long-term, it's probably not a great policy. It wasn't a very good policy. But I'm not sure where it gets him politically, and with you I talk politics. I think he is fading a little bit in popularity. I think he's overexposed on television. I feel it viscerally. I'm a TV guy. I've been on for a long time. I can feel you as a good guest or not a good guest, or want to see you or don't want to see you. Just from a television viewpoint, every 4 hours he's got another press conference. He's overexposed, in my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is.
I think at this point, given the huge amount of issues that he is dealing with and the healthcare struggle that he is engaged in, doing things like showing up on David Letterman, which no sitting president has ever done, is extraordinarily wise. He has got to find opportunities to connect with real America in ways that are different from past presidents. And I would argue the other reason for engaging on Israel and the Palestinian issue is he wants to change the image of the United States on the Arab street. And if he goes about that so forthrightly and doesn't at the same time work to bring the Israelis and the Palestinians together, he, I think, would absolutely be accused of abandoning Israel, which obviously is not in his not in the strategic interest in the United States, and certainly not what this president is about.
No, he's not going to abandon Israel. Then let me tell you a little bit about the speech that he made in Cairo University. I've said on the show before, but I'll illuminate you. I met with the former foreign minister about 3 days after that speech in Monaco, and he said this was the greatest speech he ever heard from an American president. The American stature went up 100%. Now it's folding again. You know why? Because you can't raise expectations. When you do those type of speeches, which are great, and he's a great speaker, the expectations are that these things are going to happen very quickly. And it's not going to happen that quickly, and you're facing the clergy all the time in these countries. I keep telling that to the people, that the political power that used to be in those countries has been relegated or taken over by the clergy, which is integrated into technology today in very quick, rapid response, Twitter, Schmitters, everything in the world. No. Another issue I think Obama is having a mistake with, he ran a great campaign with all this technology, but you can't govern with the same technology. And the advisors there who are brilliant in getting him elected may not be the same guys who are good to govern. One of the issues that I heard when I was in Washington is that the presidents come in and bring their own gang with them. They don't really get always the closest people around. You don't make new friends as president. Right. You don't make new friends when you're billionaires either. You know, these are things that don't happen in life. But what happens is you bring in those people who got you elected. Jimmy Carter did with Hamilton Jordan. Jody Powell, by the way, who just passed away last week. He had Hamilton Jordan, Jerry Rafshoon, and the whole gang around him. And ultimately it was called the Georgia Gang. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can govern. So you need to really look at a different process when you're trying to govern. And these guys were brilliant in the way they got him elected. I mean, Axelrod was a genius, obviously, to get him elected. And they did it with a lot of high technology stuff, which I'm sure you're well aware of. You can't govern the same way. And he'll probably get that lesson sooner or later. He's probably going to get it in Afghanistan now. When you remember his campaign, I mean, he really wanted to bring everybody home. And rightly so. Why should girls be dying over there? But we're stuck now. You heard the woman before. We're really stuck. So what do you think he'll do?
I think that, right now, I was just looking at the poll numbers, and the poll numbers on Afghanistan are sort of frighteningly similar to where the poll numbers were in the Iraq War before things turned south. The country is evenly split about whether or not we should be there. Do they support it? Is it worthwhile? I think that the president probably has another year to make some real gains there in terms of helping to support the structures and begin to institute some and put in some structures that will help support democracy in that region. But this is an intractable problem. It will never be solved militarily. It's a political issue that has to be solved by helping to build communities and strengthen so that they can expand democracy. And the most recent election there saw that it's not yet ready for prime time. So I think the president's got about another year, 18 months, and after that, if we can't make improvements, we're going to have to slowly turn that back over to the Afghanis themselves.
You want my opinion?
Yes.
Conventional wisdom or clinical foreign policy readings, let's say, are out the door since 9/11. We have never faced something like the Al-Qaeda and terror. We don't know. It's a new world. I mean, we knew when we went to World War I, World War II, we had countries we knew we were fighting, left, right, communists, Nazis. With this Al-Qaeda, we don't have a structure yet. So we can look at the clinical analysis and look at history to see how it is and how it develops. I don't know the answer, by the way. I'm just saying that it needs unconventional looks. And therefore, the polling that you people do, which is important, it's not enough to run the foreign policy. So he would have to take a very strong, maybe negative position against the polling, but what we call, what Kennedy called profiling courage. I think that's what it's going to take. We'll see. I mean, it's fascinating to have you on.
Thank you so much, Leon.
By the way, locally, is there a big contest going on here?
I understand there's a race for mayor.
I think Bloomberg will win, but not as strongly as people think, because I think that issue of third terms could be biting at him a little bit. But if I had to take a guess, you'll be seeing Bloomberg at St. Paddy's Day parades for another 4 years.
I think with a sky-high approval rating, I would absolutely agree with you.